is very good, very bueno to say the least. But our maps are ready, so with our map bans, we'll remind you, 7 map pool, 6 down. We're left with 1 map, and what will it be? Oregon. Oh man, again Oregon in APAC North. We're not surprised. The clubhouse, we've been seeing a just immense ton of it in APAC North. Consulate was the one that Cyclops banned out to go for that Oregon game. Now, I don't know about you guys, but both teams being so close, I don't know if I would put this as expectations for Cyclops to win this game over Talon. I don't know how you guys see it as a favorite team.
I'm surprised Talon banned our club because they were 1 round away from swapping that. If I was them, I would have given that a second chance instead of going to a complete new field. But yeah, I mean, they head to head they stack up pretty close.
I mean, the thing is, both of these teams have a win on Oregon, and Talon also have a loss on it, which was against Xavier, who we said have been doing very, very well this half. But the thing is, when you look back at their win, a lot of that, which was against Scars, and they beat them 7-1, a lot of it came down to this Blackbeard play they were doing. But in their last game against Guts banned Blackbeard against them. So at this point, I think these other teams have figured out that's something that Talon like to play well. So unless they can switch up their playstyle and do something a little bit different, I fear that maybe they're going to be read into a little bit too easily.
Okay, let's take a... Yeah, go ahead.
It's also a big thing to pull your game as Scars as like the one where you want to, you know, compare that as to Cyclops. Oh, yeah, I feel like that's maybe punching a little over your weight class then.
Yeah.
Fair enough, Alex. Okay, let's take a look at what you guys thought about this game. Of course, you can go and vote at R6 Esports APAC on every single one of these games in APAC North. We don't have any ties, so it's overtime or bust. 85% for Cyclops, 15% for Talon. Japanese fans, again, really showing up today for their team. We'll see if Talon have the ability to, some would say, upset. It really depends on the map, the plays, how these two teams react to one another, because the weight classes are not too different, though we do expect more from Cyclops. Though, let's see how this goes. Our game is ready. Now let's throw it over to our casters. Who's up for it first? Oh, it's just an app. All right, guys, all yours.
Who else could it be? If Gio's up there, but thank you, Gassan, for the trail right here. And we are indeed going back to Oregon. It's not Desert, he's not here, but it's his sister, Jazz.
I love that I live my life being known as Dez's sister. I want to live my life with Dez being known as my brother. That's what I want. I want it the other way around, you know. Oh, you Jesco's brother? That's what we need to start getting out of everyone's mouth. But it doesn't matter. We're back on Oregon again. I'll live vicariously through the vibe that is Dez. And yet, I think this is the 3rd most played map in APAC North. I think it might be the 2nd most played map in EU. So it's one of those top-rated maps for a lot of regions at the moment.
I thought it was the 2nd overall. Like in all regions
all of
combined.
The world?
Yeah.
See, yeah, there you go. See, I'm so used to separating the regions, you know, part of my analysis, but never combine them all.
I got it here. We got on number 1, we got Clubhouse with 35. Then we have Oregon with 32, so actually really close. And then there's a big gap. It's Cafe 25, and Villa 23, Consulate 19, Team Park 15, and Coastline as least played map 14. So it's high up there. Oregon definitely received well by the competitive community as the multi-ban instantly being brought out, and so does A-Tetcher.
Well, this is going to force a Maverick play, or Carly, if teams are feeling like they can phase up here and hit those sniper shots head on. Otherwise, we should probably see a mirror go out, because I've seen mirror used to great effect by multiple teams, especially starting on defense, but it's going to be a Wamai ban, something that we saw BDS reign supreme with over several weeks of them playing Oregon and banning Wamai, and now they just ban Wamai on every map. So maybe this is a worldwide thing, and a clash. So mirror is in play. Very APAC-esque there.
Mirror, of course, an operator that really went well in the old Oregon and also seems to be finding her way into the new one. Very creative strategies every now and then. Often you see elbow, you see that mirror window being set up there, and a shield as well. So as soon as you have to fall back from the shield, you still have the mirror window to play. And basically the attackers, well, they cleared out the shield, but they really do not have that control yet of elbow that they would like to have. Talon not opting to bring it yet, though, but it might be 6 baked in. Wouldn't be too strange. There we go. Labyrinth. Off the Echo, on the mirror.
That's a good bait too, because what it will force Cyclops to do is have to look for possible yokai drones that just simply aren't there. And given that, you know, they weren't expecting a mirror, they won't have known who is 6 picked off until they've spotted every other operator in their shore. So that's a good pick. Given that you usually see a mirror window that's facing into Freezer and one that's facing into Elbow, I don't know if they'll do the one facing into Freezer here and the one facing into Southern Lobby Stairs, or if they'll do the Elbow one instead. It's an interesting one because we have a shield with BD, and he might be doing the rotate, as you see there, currently placing the shield in Elbow and below, and that will allow PMW to hold that. Oh, look at that. No win, no playoff, angry, angry, angry face. That seems pretty obvious.
I've had so many of these. Okay, so I've done some theory crafting, right? Fnatic can theoretically still reach top 6 if they win both the matches and the direct opponents leave some behind. They would still be able to get into top 6 and with that play the mini major. Now they're playing against Electrify today, so there is an opportunity for them to take it. But we also found out that Giants, even if they win today, are not 100% secured yet for the #1 place in APAC North. So everything is still up in the air. Of course, Giants secured for that mini major, but that's the sledge shotgun. They really like that one on Cyclops. However, there's going to be 2 angles he needs to cover. I really like it though. Just using that sledge with the M59, you also have the SMG-11 as a backup. So if the shotgun really goes well on you, then why not use it?
Black Ray was not leaving any time to waste there. Entering in through Big Tower with absolute speed. Shift W is the key. With an SMG-11 in hand, short range is the kind of engagement you want to make, but even more importantly, with a shotgun, short range is very important. We've seen them do this type of thing before. And obviously a shotgun in box underneath the hatch is a very good place to play it as well. So that's probably where he will end up. And now that they've got the hatch open, they've got quite a lot of that control into meeting and above and the back stairs, but they don't really have the control they want, and that's Blue Bunker. That's where we'll see them enter now as grenades start to rain in. Surely there's an ADS to collect this.
There should be an ADS, definitely, but I can't see it that quickly. As a smoke canister will be tossed in. Indeed, no ADS deployed on this wall, meaning that a grenade should be able to take quick care of that shield placed in Elbow. Tomorrow playing in Harry Potter, Egg around the pillar. Have this crossfire here. As soon as this sledge shotgun peeks around the corner, he surely will not be able to find 1 or even 2 kills. He needs to get some support in from his teammates in blue. As he did spot out a player that, but the C4 was being tossed out and couldn't go for the peak. And you see right now, they need to get blue control, because if they have blue control, they can try and support the sledge. And they're going for it right now. It's Egg to get a kill. They know that the only member left is in the corner right there, and Black Ray picks him up. There's the 2 kills to come in from both sides. Still no elbow control though, but Gatterad already very deep in the site. Will be able to jump through the rotation, possibly able to take down a mirror from the back, and suddenly it's all up to PMW, the roamer, who needs to come back to the site. Plant's going down. 6 seconds for it to be completed, but the cover will be there. There's nothing the man can do. He needs to find them one by one, and as he goes prone, his legs will stick out, and a headshot with the M59 comes in. Black Ray will be able to secure that round right after you get the plan down. And this is like, I like this kind of smokes, right? Because if they just walk in, they won't see you. Like kind of a one-way thing. And if you go prone, then your legs will stick out first, so he knows that you're coming. So I love that one.
I think any smoke that blocks any line of sight in Siege is just one of those things that you can't risk as a defender. I mean, you know you can move in and attempt to take the kill should you be lucky enough, but 9 times out of 10, if you're going against multiple enemies and not knowing their particular position in that room, it's going to end up bad for you either way. So he didn't have much of a choice then. He actually probably could have gone rotate, but someone would have been holding that as well. Plus a mirror that has been used against you. It was a lot to go against, but I loved the speed from Cyclops then. And the big thing there was that they needed pillar control, they needed elbow control. And when they couldn't get elbow, they focused solely on pillar, and that got them access. And then a quick and swift entry from the Dokkaebi. That's what allowed Black Ray to come zooming down pillar stairs and take this kill that you're seeing now onto Egg.
All right. And here we go.
Onto egg, onto BD.
Can we-
You know why
Can
I'm
we-
thinking of egg?
See, you see this
Stats.
quickly.
What? Where?
I was gonna highlight the attic hold because we called it out before, the never swim alone video.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There we
yeah.
have it. Hatch opened up, barbed wire right next to it, a couple of ADSs. That makes it easy to hold. You hear the barbed wire wrinkle, you just go for the peek, you know exactly where he is.
There's three big things about this. One is that you won't be able to drone past the barbed wire with the mute jammer there, and of course with Thatcher banned, it's not really easy to be able to get rid of that there. You're going to have to use a mass amount of flashes. Usually there's a Wamai on board with this as well to assist with wasting a lot of utility. But for the most part, what the defenders are trying to do is bait out a lot of utility from the attackers and then force them to have to peek through the barbed wire. It looks like a quick entry yet again for Cyclops. Very confident in their entries, and we've praised them a lot of times for their attacks, but this run out might be very good. They've got a cam outside, no IQ. Means they'll get away with it for free, and I think they know that it's happening, but he might get a free one here.
He's definitely going for it. We'll be able to put some shots down into that range, but no one's actually in, well, sight to receive them. Due to that, no damage done. But at least they're going to be scared just a little bit. Know that someone is on that roam deep around small tower, and they might have to go and clear that. Cyclops will have to make a choice now. Are we going after tomorrow, or are we playing our own game? Are we just hitting the site? Because that's what they did the last time around, and PMW wasn't in time to rotate back. Keep that one in mind. You might just see them cut through the site, not care too much about that roamer.
Yeah, I often criticize teams that go after roamers that have no real effect on them vertically. I mean, if there's no vertical holes, of course there is below, so you need to be careful for an execution way, especially for this particular setup that they have. That's so that they can either C4 underneath or impact below, but that C4 only gets some of the X-Chiros, so it's not a huge waste. They'll get at least a little peek hole open. They also still have a Maverick on the board. This is a great grenade, but he tosses it too far back. He'll miss his target. He's on the table anyway, so most of that shrapnel would have missed.
Yeah, I don't think any of that would have actually gone through, as Ag is laying quite safe. Okay, well, they have their a little bit of an opening. Does Souza have a X-Chiros left? No, he does not. So he's not going to be able to create this into an actual walk hole. Or crouch through. And look at that. Tomorrow still below. PMW onto these white stairs. There's a lot being covered right here. Cyclops, they will have to push themselves through the games room or through this little hole they have. And yeah, you can't spot him out if he's prone on the table right there, but Aegator will, as he will be winning out of that gunfight. Now Black Ray will move himself up onto the attic as well. Might be finding himself in a good position to potentially come in for a, well, last second flank, which they might not expect as Anaton comes in, just swings out onto the player right there at Talon, and it's suddenly falling all into Cyclops' favor yet again. Labyrinth, you have to stop them now with this big LMG that you have in your hand. Not going to be able to get the kill down quite yet, but Aegator, he is super low. It's going to be a one-on-one situation, but Aegator comes in with that pistol. The M1911, I believe it is indeed. And we saw Hysterics use it with Giants, and Aegator says, I can do that too. Just watch me.
It was, and I believe it was Aegator who peeked that tiny little prone hole onto the player laying on the table, yes? Inside of games there? I'm 90% sure that it had to have been him, which is a wild angle to peek. 9 times out of 10, if you're proning and at the same time trying to peek an upward angle, you should not win that engagement most of the time, depending on the perspective. So the fact that he peeked that and got that headshot so cleanly shows me how confident Cyclops are. We said that they looked confident with the speed that they're taking the map. They obviously have very good pre-placed drones, or I don't know, they're the most confident face-checking team I've ever seen at this tier level. But either way, that kind of confidence is propelling them forward, giving them more momentum, and Talon is severely on the back foot now.
Would you reckon that the feet of the mute actually blocked out his line of sight?
Which way was he laying? He's laying with his head back and his feet in front,
Head back,
yes?
feet front, yeah. Normally that's a good
can
way because the
happen that
bullets will
way.
hit the feet first, but it could also block out
Right,
your line
but-
of sight if you're looking down.
If you're a tier 1 player and you know that some of your line of sight is being obscured, you would move. You would shuffle, you would move. There's no way you allow yourself to not have full line of sight on a very small Excaro.
But he didn't get a single shot in. Like, I don't even know if he fired
Well, someone was
back.
aiming at him from below. And I don't know if maybe he was trying to hide from that. Or something got lost in translation there. That just didn't work out for him.
I don't know if we have that kill on replay. If we do, that would be great to see back. But it's I'm just wondering, like, how could it happen? Because he, like, going prone or peeking prone, you always show your buddy first, right? Like, they are aware if you're watching that angle. So either he wasn't watching the angle or the feet was blocking it out, just barely. He might not have expected him to actually peek that, because it's kind of a suicide thing to do.
No, that's what I mean. I mean, very brave to peek such a scary angle.
You shouldn't
Good
win.
kill. Shouldn't win. But now we get to go on to one of my favorite sites, because this site I think is the most versatile out of all of them. You see most people do a top floor hold these days, but there's so many different ways to hold meeting and kitchen, and I just love seeing the different teams have different iterations of strats for this. For the most part, it's an attic hold though.
I like when like, often you start out top, and you, like, later in the round, you see people rotate down into that basement with the C4s especially, so they can toss them up from the hatch right behind the sandbags into these default plant positions. Because this side often gets attacked from tower, as PMW will be taken down by Anaton. Does not take prisoners. Nomad able to get that kill, not even with an air jab, I believe. And Dizzy will proceed to put some more down. Into that basement stairs, that is going to be helping him to deny any late round flank.
Very aware of the position behind sandbags. That's going to open the hatch or not. Yeets that grenade a little bit too far, so Egg gets away with his life. And now every single wall is opening up around him, and if he wants to escape from this, he's going to have to at least take one kill or pop himself down the hatch. He doesn't have the super shorty, but he's got a grenade in his mouth instead, and Gatorado will take out Tomorrow. Execute goes down, and it's all up to BD and Labyrinth, who have top floor control-ish. Take that back. It's absolutely denied, and now it's BD in Kitchen. He'll rotate all the way through Kitchen corridor, but he's got a 1v5. We talk about impossibilities. This is one, and not even one kill as a flawless round goes in the hands of Cyclops. One that, well, I think we expected after the first two rounds.
It doesn't look super confident though. Like, normally you'd be coming to this side. Do you disagree that Cyclops didn't look...
I disagree with you. For the first time ever, because you and I often think very alike in Siege. We often agree with a lot of different things. But I think that attack, if you were to look at it from a top down, the way that they had pinched the site was, for me, very strong. It's how you should attack meeting. I would say that the attic hold was great. They didn't overcommit. They didn't overextend. I think there was a lot of positives about that attack.
No, that's what I mean. This attack was super... like, confident.
Oh, okay, well then we just... well, now, see, we agree again.
There we go. I was going to say, because, like, they open up the stage wall. Now, they used a lot of fuel there, but that's okay. And then they open up in lobby, and they knew the only player they had to deal with was laying right behind the stage. So they toss over a grenade, they get that kill. No one is left anymore to try and contest them. So they knew exactly how to deal with that. You know, I said before...
I thought you were disagreeing with that.
No.
I was like,
I
that
agree.
was
It was
clean,
a beautiful
no?
attack. It was the cleanest attack we've seen from KAG so far.
That's great. I love that. Nonetheless, Mirror again. Another Goyo. Tomorrow on the Jaeger. Everything looking pretty well the same here for Talon. I think for them, the big thing will be is that their roamers, or roamer rather, needs to be more effective with the kind of presence he's having. He either needs to waste more time because Cyclops are so fast in their entries, or he needs to take an engagement and be aggressive early and take out those key players from Cyclops.
Cyclops just doesn't care about the roam. They
that's true.
They just cut straight to the side. You know, okay, there's a roamer. Well, okay, beautiful. Anaton will put down some pressure, force him back downstairs, and it's fine. All right. Problem solved. Now we can just cut straight to the side. We don't have to worry about it anymore. And yeah, PMW is still up there, but you saw how that happened last time. They just flicked their fingers and everybody was inside to get the plan down, and PMW did, like, nowhere to be found.
Oh no, Black Ray put the shotgun back on the shelf. He's pulled out the L8 for this round. I'm disappointed. I loved that shotgun.
Such a funny thing to see a sledge shotgun. You know, there's like maximum soft breach potential coming in right there. No wall
I mean,
is safe.
as an SMG-11 lover, like, I respect him for that.
There we go. ADS is being wasted. Flashbangs being tossed in, or stun grenades as Ash shouts out. Basically the same thing right here. Shield being taken care of. That's a Goyo one. Ag safe behind the wall, so it doesn't have to worry about it too much. Drones being wasted. 2 more ADSs on the back there, so they really want to hold on to Boiler Room and Pillars. Or Pillar, rather. They do not want to lose this again, because they also realize as soon as you lose Boiler, the round is basically over for the defense.
What they'll need here is big freezer pressure from tomorrow. PMW kicks things off. This is what we mean. We need to take those initial picks, but a really good trade from Gutterada means that will even the number count. Now they don't have a Hibana to deal with the mirrors. That might be big, but we didn't see them have to deal with it last time. They used smokes to cover it instead, so they've still got a lot of opportunity here. Now the big players, it'll be the Goyo and it'll be the Jaeger to try and stop them from pushing into Pillar. We'll see how the attackers deal with this.
Have to say, really like the fact that Gutterada did not decide to hack the telephone, the mobile, because there is of course no extra chems out there. There's nothing he can gain from it except for the default ones, which you already shoot anyway. So you take that extra 5 seconds of time to actually go for the push, and here we go. It's going to be the kill onto Harry Potter. However, tomorrow we'll be able to get a refrag in. He follows that one up. Has to be careful though, as that shield, you know, it could just explode right here, as tomorrow will be able to not find the angle just yet. Be taken out right after Anaton. Able to swing in 2-on-2, 30 seconds left. Plenty of time here for the attack to try and work something out. Maybe try and slow down just that little bit, as you do have the time. Need to know where they are. One is an elbow, one is in the cubby, and there we go. Labyrinth will pick up that kill. Now Gutterada should be aware of the fact that both these players are around that diffuser, or at least in their respective positions. He picks the first one, but he will not get it. Labby will be able to get that kill, and Talon will be able to win round number 4 and put one on the board themselves, finally.
Like I said, it came down to the 2 players who are holding Pillar and Harry Potter. That is a key area of attack. That's where Cyclops have shown they want to put a lot of their emphasis on. I think there for Talon, big came out of the fact that the Goyo was able to stall out for so long, and Tomorrow was able to have a lot more impact for a lot longer than we've usually seen him in the previous rounds. Really good round there from Talon, but it did again come down to a 2v2 in the end, so not super convincing, but still a round on the board nonetheless. And if they can win the next one, well, that's going to be their last offensive round to essentially show us, well, not the last offensive, but one of the last offensives, to show us that they are very capable here on Oregon, at least on defense.
2 more rounds. And that means Talon has 2 more opportunities to try and bring this to a 3-3. Now, Cyclops already found themselves 3 rounds, which is pretty good if you're on the attack. Now imagine if they can make that 1, maybe even 2 more, then Talon will have a really tough battle to go up to the attack themselves, to try and outdo that. Maybe push themselves to overtime to give themselves another shot. The Cyclops are looking so confident here, and yes, they might not have won that round, but they got very close. It was just purely due to the fact that they did not have the information about these last 2 players. Not sure if they had any drones left in that point, but I think they knew what they wanted to do.
Interesting. What Eggs decided to do is place a mute jammer on the western side of the game's double wall, and what that's allowed him to do, not that wall, the other wall. Not trophy wall, the games wall. Yeah, that one. Thank you. The reason he's put the mute jammer there rather than in the middle of the wall is, one, he wants to do the C4 trick where you throw it down into classroom, the shrapnel explodes upwards and either kills the person mavericking or denies an exothermic Karas or whatever. But they know they've been bringing a Maverick every round anyway. So what's the point of wasting a mute jammer when you could keep it to the right, deny any drones coming through? That's a smart adaptation. Minor, but big in my books.
Right. Cyclops trying to get the information needed. And I think that he was taking enough with that when he just droned, but then he actually heard that someone went on the chem there, so he was aware of the fact that someone was in armory. But look at that hipfire headshot, a Labyrinth, able to just put Anaton out. And I was going to say, they might have missed drone that, but as soon as he went on the chem, they were aware of the fact that someone was in sight there. In the end, didn't really seem to matter. Labyrinth still able to win the gunfight, rotate all the way back deep into sight, and they dealt the first strike of Cyclops. It's Tomorrow now rotating up slowly from the laundry stairs. Now, I don't think anybody's actually in that first floor, so it doesn't have to be too afraid, but he, of course, doesn't want to be spotted out by a potential drone to still come around. And as I say, that Getterata actually drops down to hold on that angle. They are aware of it.
That was actually a hilarious engagement between Anaton and Labyrinth, because Labyrinth is one breath of wind away from death. They've droned him out here, but nope. A solo push in means that, yet again, no trade there for Cyclops, and now they're being sloppy. They've shown that they can be very effective in entering the building, but the moment that Talon puts up a fight, they seem to struggle. And there's a little bit of a hip fire there from the Go-Yo, but Black Ray finally able to make that entry that's necessary for Cyclops, getting out BD. And they've also wasted AC4, so there's a lot of opportunity now for them to be able to exothermic this wall with little to no trouble. I don't think the mute jammer will reach. No, it doesn't. And that gets opened up, but there's only 35 seconds left.
Act this time, not going prone again. It's going aggressive instead, picking out that M59. It will be fully flashed though, so we'll have to go for some of the shots. But he's not going to be able to land any. Suzu will be able to get that kill in, and that means we're in a 3-on-3. Counting down, 25 seconds. Cyclops, you need to get your push in now. There's not much time left. Look at that, Black Ray already inside Attic. They're pushing through right now. Are they going to be able to get the flying onto onto Labyrinth? I mean, no, it does not seem to be the case, as he will get a wall bang in, and Talon will be able to clean it up right here. Labby moving into the Attic area, and with that, able to get the last 2 kills. Clean it up and put Talon onto 2. Where Cyclops, they managed to get back into the round, like some bit, but not enough to eventually win it.
I just felt like, you know, we praised Cyclops for their first few rounds, and then now they look very sloppy. Like, if you want to engage in someone, like with someone in Armory, and you know that they're there and you want to take them by surprise, I get that. That was a close engagement there by Anaton. He actually lost out by like a quarter of a bullet, right? So that's fine. But then you go and push someone who's roaming below by yourself with no trading ability. No one was able to repel upon Armory to be there for the trade for Anaton to begin with. So now they're starting to think that they're better than Talon, and that's a bad mentality to have, is that you think you're going to win every gunfight and put yourselves in situations where you can't be traded.
That's definitely a bit of complacent. What's it called? Complacent, I think it is.
Complacency, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there we go. Seems to be a bit of that coming in right here. Maybe a bit of overconfidence, not giving the respect that Talon might deserve. This Talon will be striking back, able to get 2 rounds in a row. The back of these gunfights, just able to take them without being punished right after, or without being traded out. That puts them back in a 3-on-2. It's still a good scoreline for Cyclops, but it could be better. It could have been a 4-2, 5-1 if they just kept playing like those first 3 rounds, especially the 3rd round. That was so convincing for them. Well, luckily for them, we're going back there, so they might be able to make something else happen.
Well, there's some prox alarms that have been deployed by the Rook over into Small Tower, I believe, and I'm a big fan of them. I think they're just like one of those gadgets that a lot of attackers just fail to drone out. They're like, they might drone in, but they don't check up into a corner or a little small crevice where those prox alarms can be sitting, and all of a sudden, there we go, beep beep. And that gives away your exact position, and now they know where they're coming from. And you can be as fast as you want as Cyclops, but if they know the direction you're pushing from, it makes it a lot harder.
Okay, so they completely reinforced this and then Castle barricaded it as well. Dining is given away for free. That means Black Ray, together with A-Gator, are going to be able to just open up these walls and barricades with their respective utility, the blowtorch and that sledgehammer. With that, put immense pressure onto the B-bomb side, which is the kitchen, of course. There we have it. X-Kairos being deployed. Also a sledgehammer. Could be a wall call. Ag is going to be aware of this. There's nothing really they can do about it. How is their top floor hold on this? Because I do not see any verticals. Okay, they have a couple of verticals. They have the hatch opened up, which is going to be helpful for sure. And right now BD is creating some extra verticals to make sure that they can actually deal with the pressure that Kang is putting up on them. But you have to be careful because Anaton is trying to make a push happen right here together with, I believe that's Black Ray onto the white stairs. they realize as well they need to clear out these 2 players into kids, because if they do, it's just a free take onto the kitchen bomb site. With 60 seconds left, they need to hurry.
Yeah, the kitchen bomb site isn't one of the default sites to push. So it's interesting they've chosen that one. PMW does get down, whether or not that was from a vertical or not, and Labyrinth will go down. Cyclops making their entry here, and they make it look easy. Now, if they wanted to, they could get a plant off, but Tomorrow says that's enough of that plan. He'll get air jabbed and an easy kill for Aegator. And it's all up to Egg now. Not been having the best of games thus far, only on a 2 and 5. But he's showing that he can clutch out when necessary in other matchups. He'll spot one, but they now know exactly where he is. His opportunity to clutch this one out dwindles as the time goes down. Castle's on every door of his own making. Now they can hear him. This is all over for him. Did he down him, or was that a teammate?
Did he down him, indeed? I think that is like someone got down there, but I'm not really sure what happened. Hey, no, it was a trade kill. It was a trade one to come through, alright. Good for that one.
Okay.
But I was going to say, how did he walk past that door and the airdrop did not blow?
Good question.
Security, I was confused. He walked out, turned around, shot the airdrop, and then rotated all the way back into meeting.
It's a bit of an interesting one there, because we always just expect teams to push meeting. You know what I mean? Push big tower, push meeting from there. Whether or not they plant meeting is irrelevant. It's the fact that that's where they make their initial push. And then I think Talon got a little bit confused because Cyclops started just pushing pretty much predominantly into kitchen, and they're taking vertical control, even to the point where they were allowed to rappel in at one point. That's the kind of defensive strategy that you need to muster up. You need to rotate people quicker, otherwise you won't be able to respond with that kind of push.
All right, 4-2 right now, Jess. And what is the APAC statistics for this map? I believe it's defense-sided, right?
I think every map is ever so slightly defense-sided. This particular map in APAC is, what do we got here? Oregon is 62% defensive-sided, so quite a bit more than other maps.
Yeah, and that's really putting Cyclops into... Wait, what is Suzu doing here? Surely he's not going to be putting a mirror window up there.
5 seconds left.
No. I expect one to go on supply and one to go freezer, just based off that setup.
Why jump out and then reinforce from that side? There has to be something behind it.
There we go.
There
One
he is.
freezer,
Deficit
one supply. There we go. I think the backwards reinforcement is just something that players are very... You know, it also becomes back to routine. A lot of these players were taught to reinforce backwards from things like impact tricks to block grenades on certain maps and certain reinforcements. That might just be a routine thing.
Well, maybe he tested out the rotation, and then, you know, when he was there anyway, he just...
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure that the rotation works. I don't know, I thought it was something more behind it than...
We're overthinking it, I think.
Overanalyzing it right here. But Tomorrow already very deep inside security corridor, checking out a meeting. Seems to be scared of someone coming around him. And while there is no real flank watch, or there is no drone up, and the airdrop will do that job for now. We'll make sure no one will be walking up those freezer stairs to come and haunt him. Aegator, of course, playing there, and he's trying to find himself an entry into Laundry. He has to deal with that mirror window. If he does, so instead just going to the back stairs, completely giving up on that meeting push we've seen before. Air jabs being put up. Laundry will be relatively empty by the attackers, I believe.
It's been half of the round and they haven't really made a dent in almost any of the defensive setup, and that worries me considering they haven't put almost any bodies towards Blue Bunker. Did he get all of those? Oh,
no, he got 4. That's enough.
You need 4 to get it off, but I think there might be a mute jammer underneath. I think that's why they haven't gone off. There'll be one on the laundry. There we go, on the washing machine. This is dangerous. They're just going to commit to a box drop or a backstairs and box drop, which is not what you want to do when there's so much utility from Cyclops set up.
I'm honestly so confused because a lot of utility is being tossed through there. Nothing is there to follow up with it. Neither a grenade or like a breaching round of the Ash. And it's like 10-20 seconds ago that they tossed out all this utility, but they still will need to deal with the player in Harry Potter. Now, I like this angle that Tomorrow is holding here. As soon as Jaeger will be forced to move forward, he will be picked up. But all that he has to do is just stay here in this corner, not go prone. All right, not go prone. He did anyway. Will be picked up because of that. And right now, Kang will lose out one player, but there's only 25 seconds left, and there's not really that much control from the likes of Talon, but then Tomorrow just sweeps in. We'll be able to pick up one, they'll be able to pick up two right here. C4 tossed over, will stop the diffuser. No, it does not. The concussion or shrapnel doesn't go through. It's a down to be response though, but 45 seconds on the clock in a 2-on-3 situation. Tomorrow is down, functioning as a living drone. Kill coming in there from Suzu. Big one to come in. C4 to follow up as well. It's only up to PMW now. Is he aware of the fact that the defuse is happening? He cannot see it. It's a long arm to come in. Is the cover there? Yes, it is. The body block. Cyclops will get the defuse in nonetheless. Even though Talon, their attack in the end was very actually well coordinated. C4 not hitting a Suzu resulted in the diffuser to go down, but you needed to plant it a little bit more deeply to make sure that that long arm was not happening.
I'm absolutely shocked at what I just saw because in no way should Talon have been able to get that diffuser down to start off with. Their attack was super one-dimensional. They're very lucky they got the kill onto the player in Harry Potter to begin with. Great angle, as you said, however. But once the plant had gotten down, then the retake was just flawless from Cyclops. That was a really good round to show teams that, okay, if you're out of options, you can attack with what you've got left, and that's what Talon did. And if you're out of options as the defender and you're out of C4s, etc., then once the plant's down, you can retake with a little bit of calm, cool collectedness. I loved that round from start to finish, but Talon need to pick things up here because they're very lucky they even got that plant down, and it didn't look as convincing as it probably should have, especially now they're 3 rounds deficit.
2 rounds behind. Cyclops off the back of a round that they should not have won. Because let's be honest, as soon as that plan goes down, with a 3-on-2 situation, you should not be losing that one out. But too aggressive on the peaks right there, not being too passive enough, not being able to actually go for trades, really made sure that they weren't able to get that round win in. It's like a round that should have been won by Cyclops, but then the plan came down and you were like, okay, it should be won by Talon now, but then Cyclops comes back and they will win it anyways. Like, neither of the teams really should have won it at that point.
Yeah.
The Cyclops takes it in the end. It's like whoever makes the last mistakes loses the round, so...
That's often what happens. This is what a lot of teams are looking for. You know, you can never rely on the other team making a mistake, so a lot of the strategies are always built around the success of the attack. But everything will go wrong if there's an opportunity for it to go wrong in Siege. And time being one of them, but Talon, just like Cyclops, wasting none of that, gaining straight access to the building. I love this. A double roam from Cyclops. I believe it's Gatorada and Suzu here. It is. And they'll be roaming together. And the reason I love duo roams like this is you almost guarantee a trade or something to that effect, even a crossfire with no ability to be able to clear them.
I like how they always follow each other. It's like Gatorada puts Suzu on a leash. Yeah, and he just follow me around. Come on. Just
Let's go.
Be ready to refrag me. This has Patrick Star as the Chartmon, so I really like that one. give a little bit of SpongeBob in. It's Tomorrow. Again, worrying about the fact someone might be coming up the freezer stairs, and he's not wrong about it. Someone currently sneaking through freezer as we speak. Gator, that is. And that means 3 people are off site. Only 2 on site. It's Anaton and Blackgray. If Talon would read this, they could easily overwhelm them. And Tomorrow starts that off by actually taking down Gator right now. That's the 1 roamer gone. They might not think there's another one, but the second kill comes in. Tomorrow able to close another one out. Suzu, however, will respond on the backup that he had with him. Drops down through that hatch, but will be followed up. Labyrinth was ready. All the frags coming down, but none of them are actually on the site. As it's Anaton and Gatorada left right now in a 2-on-3 situation. Talon have that man advantage. Are they going to be able to close it out this time? Or will Cyclops be able to stall this out just long enough? They have these 2 smoke canisters left. They have another C4 on Gatorada. It should be enough to make sure that the plant does not happen. 50 seconds left. If Talon does not make haste, they will not be able to get it. That's unlucky timing.
I believe he did peek towards that window as well, so you're right. That's what I mean by little mistakes, little things that could have gone differently. But you're right, there is 30 seconds left on the clock. There's still a lot Labyrinth and PMW BD can do to get access to the site, but they're going to have to speed it up and speed it up now. If Anaton stays still, he'll probably likely win this, but he doesn't. PMW will take him out, and now it's all up to the Valkyrie. A C4 and multiple bullets from left, right, and center means that round goes into the hands of Talon. And given the time that they had left on their hands, they're very lucky. It's almost like Talon's like Team Vitality-esque. The old Team Vitality is where they just leave it to the last 15 seconds and go, let's hit the site now because we have nothing left.
The diffuser wasn't even on site yet, Jess, with these 15
Wow.
seconds. So, like, honestly, if Anaton would have just sit still and we still had the Valkyrie playing on the white stairs, that would have been a completely different round, because then the flank wouldn't have come in, and then Labyrinth wasn't going to be able to pick up those kills as well. But Talon, they played it well in the end. They managed to force Cyclops into being impatient and going for these peaks, going for these somewhat more aggressive plays than was necessary at the moment in time. And due to that, they pick up a round. They start closing in on that gap of 3 rounds that now turns into 2 rounds. And Cyclops, they are aware of the fact that they are close to a win here. Not that they will be able to reach the top 1 position, but I believe it would secure them in the top 6 as things currently stand, because they ended up 4th last time. Winning this one would put them into that top 6 as well, and that would, of course, guarantee you that top 6 position.
For all of those people who are wondering why we care so much about top 6, it's not because we just want people to be in the top 6. No. Top 6 gets them access to the major. And are we officially calling it the mini major now? Is that the terminology we're going with?
I think it's a mini major indeed. Like, I think it was communicated by Ubisoft as a mini major, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
So yesterday, EU League finished. They solidified their top 4, and it's only top 4 for EU. But because there are more teams in APAC North, they get 6 teams. So it's the top 6 teams of APAC North that will go through to the mini major. And every single team wants to go to the mini major. No team wants to not get those points. No team doesn't want to get those winnings. There's a lot to prove here. And Cyclops is one of those teams that, personally, I believe has played quite well over the season and probably very much deserves to go. But we've also seen Talon provide a lot of upsets as well.
Talon definitely been able to put up some upsets. One from Nora Rengo, for example, and, well, Fnatic as well. Fnatic was 2 weeks ago. Fnatic not doing too well, but they still have an opportunity to get top 6. If they manage to win both the matches. It's crazy that we're saying it like that. Like, Fnatic still have an opportunity to reach top 6. Everybody expected them to be top 3, and here they are, currently sitting in 10th place overall. As tomorrow now breaches through. There's going to be a lot of early pressure right here from Talon on that top floor. They want to deal with this as quickly as they possibly can. We're not going to be able to find a person onto the white stairs yet, and as long as Black Ray stays alive right here... Oh, and then he gets that shot!
Good night!
I saw him go for it! Good night, sleep tight, don't let the bedbugs bite tomorrow! As that's 90 seconds left, your entry fragger gone, Anaton instantly drops down the hatch, and that is top 4 given to Talon, but... oh, they miss a very important pawn in their game of chess.
He got sent to tomorrow. Ha! Get it?
Get it. It's okay.
Yeah, I know you hated that. It's fine. Nonetheless, I love to see shots like that. He knew someone was aggressing through games. Easy wallbang there onto his head. And they will get vertical control now, but there's less than a minute left, and none of the Cyclops players are giving them anything. They've actually decided to do an outside-in hold now so that they aren't exposed to any of these vertical holes. This is very smart, but there's still a lot of opportunity. We know how Talon are in the last 30 seconds of their gameplay. They need to be vigilant.
They need to be indeed. And in the meantime, the Roam coming back up the white stairs. They're not safe yet. Black Ray just holding here in an M59. Cyclops are trying to put themselves up on these 6 rounds as PMW wants to go for a quick peek right here, but he will be shut down. The M59 coming in. The next one is thinking about it. Is BD going to be following up? No, it's Ag with a grenade to try and bounce it off. That would be the kill, but no, the M59 comes in. Black Ray able to get that kill. Goes aggressive right now into Attic. Maybe someone is hiding there that he can pick up as well, but no. They seem to be coming in from the kitchen corridor right here. Smokes will be tossed in, but first the kill of Anaton will be coming in. Labyrinth is going to be able to get that top floor under control, but the time runs out. It's Cyclops to win it, and it wouldn't have mattered in the end because you saw the Jaeger coming up in kitchen corridor himself, and they will be putting themselves up to 6 right now. They have 3 match points to try and close this out.
That round was wild from start to finish. The moment that Black Ray was able to get that wall bang through the wall, and then of course the retake via the shotgun up wide stairs, I think that was really on the back of him that round. And we never try and, you know, say that it's ever on the back of one player. It's always a team game. We don't know the comms that go on behind closed doors either, so there's probably a lot of information that he got to be able to make those plays. But you just think as a whole, if he hadn't have retaken wide stairs, if he hadn't have pushed upstairs with such vigor, then we wouldn't have been seeing the round that way.
I also I have to say that as soon as that kill onto Tomorrow came in, they both all, everybody went downstairs back inside, right? All right, hands down, we got the entry frag. There's a minute left. They need to push us now. They need to come to us. We have that man advantage. And as soon as they realized, all right, top floor might be clear. Here you see it. I already saw it at the moment he was looking at the wall. I'm like, this is going to be a wall bang to come in. And this is what I mean right after. Black Gray just moving back upstairs with 20 seconds left. Often you would say, why would you do that? Because they need to hit side. Well, if there is still people upstairs, you're going to be able to hit them and put pressure back on them. And otherwise, you have the top floor hold. If they're going for a side push and you have that vertical play in your advantage, especially if you have that one-man advantage, you can afford it to put someone back upstairs. So, really liked what they did there, Cyclops. Beautifully played.
Black Ray's actually the second highest rated player in his team, and when I say second highest, he's actually at the moment, depending how this match ties out of course, tied with Gatorada for first rated on his team. As a mute and sledge main, that's a pretty hard thing to do considering you're predominantly the flex/flex support player for your team. That's a good one there, and he has a few 1vx's to his name as well. Not a surprise given what we saw from him last round.
Just like
But
the
someone
M59.
that's really, I mean, very true, but someone that's really impressed me on both teams have been the entries for both Talon and Cyclops. Tomorrow just seems to go in so confidently. I know he has a joint in front of him, but he looks confident in his movement. He looks like he knows where he wants to be. And maybe he's got super sound as well, but there was a couple of rounds ago where he heard the Jaeger downstairs or something to that effect, and he flicked straight there. I don't know if he's got 1600 DPI, but brilliant responses.
Responses indeed. Cyclops 2 minutes away of reaching this win potentially to come in. All they need to do is just make sure they're not going to be able to actually access the site and stay alive. It sounds very simple like that. It's a very simple
Yeah, you make
game
it
in
sound
basics.
too easy.
It's, the basics are simple, the objective to win, the way to get there though, that's a bit more difficult.
Well, things have slowed down a little bit for Talon now, and that's purely out of the fact that they need BD to start opening things up. They need access to site that they don't really have yet. We said last time we criticized them about their inability to push elbow or blue bunker at all. And that's quite possibly because they want to do a hatch drop with maybe a freezer presence and backstairs pinch, which is okay to do, but when you don't really have lines of sight onto the particular sites that you would need, considering we can see a lot reinforced there, it becomes exponentially more difficult.
Definitely seems to be 50 seconds left, Jess, and still no real pressure from Talon to come in. They wanna deal with this player in Harry Potter, but now the X-Cars will go off. That will be costing another 6-7 seconds. Then they need to get the right angle out, but well, it looks like Gatorada already rotating all the way out, going pro next to this soft wall. It's dangerous to do, but as long as they don't know you're there, you will be quite safe, and they're not checking it properly, so Labyrinth is not going to be able to get that angle down on him. And Gatorada, he can just stay passive, he can just stay aggressive on here. Look at his head, just does not pop out onto the X-Chiral. We'll go aggressive and get a kill. Gatorada will be able to potentially turn around into Kag's favor. 15 seconds left, the box drop comes in. Are they going to be able to close it down? It definitely looks like it. Gatorada picks up yet another kill. BD needs to move in now. SMG will come in. Get one kill to start things up, but they do not have the control yet that they desperately need. Black Gray strikes back as BMW will find 2 kills. The plan now goes down. The Yokai will fail to actually deny it from happening, and there we go. The last try will succeed. It's Cyclops to win it. It's 7-3.
And they are going to be going up in that, well, win-loss ratio up to 2-2. Whilst they put their opponent's Talon down.
Cyclops did not make the same mistake twice. They weren't able to deny the plant from downstairs last time, and it forced them to do a retake. This round, they said, no problems, we don't need C4s. We've got 2 yokais that you haven't dealt with because you take far too long on your attack, and we can deny the plant without even having to engage you. So really good showing there from Cyclops. Very convincing win, and I think for Talon, they'll be going back wondering what went wrong for them as they've only got one more Playday left.
They have one more Playday left to try and get themselves up in the numbers to gain some points for the 6th Invitational as well, because that is of course where everything ties up to in the end. The top 6 will be gaining more points as the mini-major, but the rest get some points in. But let's toss it over to the analysts and see what they thought of this match.
Dankjewel, Stein. Yes, we are back.